This song was not it. Like, this song was awful. Well, this is not the vibe I'm trying to have, especially walking into this week. I just don't want to have that vibe. I just don't need that vibe. I need joy.
Hello, welcome to the Pitchy Podcast. We are your hosts, James
and Stephanie.
Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we are passionate about good music and a great vocal. Not just good, great vocal.
Great.
We will use the vehicle from NBC's The Voice to give you our take and our feedback on each contestant's performance and overall vocal. But what we're never here to do is come for any contestant's character or as a person. Now, we may come off a little pitchy at times, if you know what I mean. We will always speak our truths with love, kindness, and respect. Is that the three? Love, kindness, and respect? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So, night 5, our final night of the battles. So we got a lot to get through tonight. So let's just jump right in on this election eve. I hope everyone voted. This episode will come out hopefully after we have they've declared a presidential winner. But we here at the Pitchy Podcast are all about people's civic right to vote. So vote.
Absolutely. Vote.
Everyone, please.
We hope you voted.
Hope you voted. All right.
Yes.
So, starting with our leak that we got last Friday. This was J. Paul and Camila. Not to be confused with Kamala, but Camila. And they did
right.
interesting song. They did Toxic. By the Britney Spears with one T. Pop Princess Britney Spears. First thing I wrote, Stephanie, I said, poor song choice. I said, Michael, what are you doing? I don't understand. It's a great song, don't get me wrong. You know, this is the fabric of my and Stephanie's lives. This song, Britney Spears, obviously. I said, but I really didn't think it highlighted either of their voices that well. But I did like how they bend the word. Every time they said toxic, like I loved how they did the bend harmony there. And then I was like, oh, I see you with those little notes, J. Paul. J. Paul said, I'm going to church it. He said, I'm going to church toxic. I'm going to get it in. I'm going to church it. I loved he did that little scat thing at the end of the song. He did that little scat thing. That was nice. I was like, where did you find those notes? I said, good choices. And I said, with Camila, I said, you know, I hear 17 in her sound and choices. This is not a bad thing. I said, it has a youthful exuberance that the song needs when she
needs it.
Gave her vocal. Because Britney, I think, was maybe 19, 20 when she did this song. So she was still really young. I think this was from her second album. Still really young. I said, but one thing that Camila did, like when she sang the chorus through by herself, da 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 da. My voice is gone from singing. Yeah, I sang it down yesterday at church. I never say that about myself, but I sang it down yesterday at church. So my voice is a little tired, and I have been talking all day. So
yes, I'm surprised you have a voice.
Yeah. So I felt like she really opened her voice up on the second time that she sang the chorus through by herself.
Yeah.
But then I wrote, but I'm still not a fan of the song choice. I was really offended by that this time, Stephanie, because I was like, Bublé's been picking monster hits as he did later this evening.
Right.
So I was like, okay, but I get it. He's trying to really push his contestants. Like, if in my opinion, it's like, I think because of the song choices, he's putting them through boot camp. It feels like boot camp to me.
Truly.
He's making them
Truly.
Like, work. Stephanie?
Truly. Yeah, I didn't understand the song choice either. It seemed not in J. Paul's wheelhouse at all. And for Camila, it's like, okay, does she even know the song? Being that she's 17 right now, and this song is this was out a minute ago. This was out when I was I was 19, 20, something like that. So, but she and Camila did know this song. Bublé was saying in the rehearsal that he picked the song because it was a tough song. And I was like, yes, it is a tough song. Any up-tempo is going to be tough. And melodically, the song is very tough. But still, you could have chose a different song. J. Paul, he R&B-ified this Britney song, and I loved it. It was like, come on, choice. It was like, okay, this is my lane. This is how I sing, and I'm going to sing this way to this song, which I appreciated. He sang it like a pro. I could hear all the soul and the spirit in his throat, and I love the choices that he made to really show off his voice, even within the more complicated melody of this song. I thought Camila attacked this song. You need a lot of breath support for this song, because not only with the melodic movements of it, also you have to do a little choreo, you have to do a little two-step, you have to portray energy during a performance like this, and they were both able to do that. So I've really appreciated that they both had the lung capacity and the presence and the ability to be able to perform this song and give it the energy that it deserves. Well, anytime you can get Snoop standing up, I mean, count it as a win, because there have not been that many times he stood up, and especially not for another performer besides his own. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah, I applaud them both, because in these circumstances, they are not allowed to choose their song, and nor their partner. And this was another instance where you have a 17-year-old girl paired up with a 37-year-old man. And I want to applaud them both, because they both look like that they handled their partnership very professionally, and they look like they really had a good time. They look like it was like a big brother, little sister situation. And I thought that was really great. It could have made for a very uncomfortable situation. And I think one of the judges or coaches actually alluded to the fact, or said something about the fact about their age difference. So particularly, I would like to applaud J. Paul for that, because I think that is that just shows the kind of man that you are, to make that young lady feel comfortable and allow her the freedom and the space to be able to perform at the high level that she did. That speaks a lot about you, J. Paul, but it also speaks a lot about Camila. So congratulations on that.
So Stephanie, who did Michael end up picking?
So I was really glad that where they left the leak off at least on YouTube, it ended up, Bublé was saying, like, if this is about the voice, I have to pick the person that gave the best vocal performance. And when he said that, I was like, well, I think you got to say J. Paul. And he did. So J. Paul was our winner this evening. What I was sad about was that I was expecting, as I've been conditioned to expect, that if it's a leak, then there's a possibility that the other contestant is going to be stolen, and she was not.
Not this season.
So Camila went home. Not this season. No, not this season.
There've been no chill this season. No chill.
Right. They've been very cutthroat as far as that goes. So
okay.
Oh well. Okay. Best wishes to Camila. Congratulations to J. Paul.
Absolutely. I thought that was a wise choice for him to choose J. Paul, because J. Paul did the most with very little song.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so our next contestants were Camryn and Rowdy. And what did they sing?
They sang I Remember Everything. which is, that's a scary thing to say to your partner. I Remember Everything by Casey Musgraves and Zach Bryan.
I mean, you women do. You keep receipts.
We
But
do.
we're not going there tonight. That's another conversation.
Not tonight.
Okay. I'm going to talk about the Be Real first. I said Gwen is giving incredible performance advice. Incredible performance advice. And Gwen, you're giving away secrets because she talked about, what that alter ego that you have when you are on the stage, that it may not be you, but it really is a part of you. And
Come on.
I just thought that was wonderful, wonderful advice, wonderful way to articulate how to move a crowd or how to, exude realness in your stage presence, because people can read right through stage presence when it comes to fakeness, if that's a word.
Right.
I'm kind of nervous. I was kind of nervous about this one because what I was hearing in the Be Real was not that good. And I was nervous because Gwen was saying things like, okay, that was way better this time. And when you say something like, that's way better, I was like, oh, that means it probably was pretty rough. And that's not saying too much, unfortunately. I said, I need more intensity, energy. I didn't feel like Camryn and Rowdy were giving me enough energy with this song. This song had great lyrics to it. But on the other hand, I felt like they emoted the lyrics pretty well. Like I was following the story, but I wanted more. I wanted more connection and more duet energy. I never really felt like the two of them were together. I felt like it was people singing a duet. There was no chemistry, really. Rowdy, unfortunately for me, is just not that strong of a vocalist. And I think that's what the problem was for me. And then I put yet. I said I put ... yet, because I think Rowdy needs a few more years of like more experience, because I think he does have a good voice. I just don't think he's ready for a show like this quite yet. Camryn has a very interesting tone to her voice that I really want to hear more of. I felt like Camryn was a real pro, because I almost felt as if she had to hold back to match him, if that makes sense. And that's unfortunate, but sometimes you have to do that because it'll look foolish if you do not. I want to hear more of Camryn. Rowdy, I think that I loved your story. I loved that your wife, got you to audition for the show, but I really think that you need to gig more and become more comfortable in performance skin, if that makes sense. Stephanie?
Yeah, I think that there were a few things working against them in this performance. Number one, it is really, I would imagine that it would have to be really hard to be paired up with a young woman when you are newly married and your wife is not there. That's you can have all the trust in the world and
not there.
And a beautiful wife. Yes, absolutely.
Camryn's beautiful herself. That's the thing. It's hard. You're right. Because you got to keep it.
It's hard. It's just
you got to keep it professional.
Absolutely. But if Rowdy is a person that has not had a lot of experience on the stage, then that is an extra layer of professionalism and performance that he has not experienced yet. So trying to learn a song, trying to work with a partner, trying to find his own voice in a way, and trying to work with somebody else, that's a lot to navigate in a small amount of time. And I agree. I think that whole dynamic kind of held back Camryn's vocal a little bit. I also felt like the key was working against her. I didn't feel like the key was great for her. I felt like the key was a little bit better for Rowdy. I think that Rowdy he's got that, and I remember saying this about him in The Blinds, that he's got this classic old school country voice, full round, solid voice. And if he gets a couple more years of experience of performing up under him, he can be a star. Because I remember his Blind and him looking at that camera, I was like, oh, you got that. He got that thing. So if he can get some more reps under him, I think he can be a star. Camryn has this really powerful, and the only word I could think to describe her voice was gooey. It felt warm, it felt rich, it felt thick. And I don't think that she was able to showcase that enough within this particular song. I hated this song for them. I did not like it at all. I just thought that this song brings about a vulnerability that neither one of them could really tap into, for whatever the reason was. But it wasn't a horrible performance by any stretch. I just think that maybe another song would have been better for both of them all around.
Yeah, I agree. So who did they wind up picking in this one?
Camryn.
Yeah, I agree. I think Rowdy's just not quite there yet, but I think he's almost there. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, next we had the T's, the Battle of the T's. The
yes.
Tate and Tanner. It's Tate and Tanner.
Yes.
And I was a little nervous because we all know who battled with this song before, and it was an epic battle of Bias and Jackie Roar from 2 seasons ago.
Yes.
So it's a very tall order to have to do Need a Favor by Jelly Roll, because
truly,
like, it lived rent free for us for,
Still does. Still does. I still go around my house singing, "Who the hell am I?" I still do that.
Yeah. So, and this might just be personal preference. Stephanie, you got to help me out here. What is it about Tanner that I just love? I love this kid.
I knew it.
I knew it. This kid. I love his vibe. I love, like, he's just like, yeah. It's almost as if he's like, I don't know, just chill,
Chill. No, that's the word. Chill.
And I said, and this is oxymoronic, but I'm gonna say this, and Stephanie, you gonna understand what I'm saying. Tanner has this smooth roughness to his voice. Smooth meaning he sings a very smooth legato line, but he still has that roughness in his voice. I said, it just sounds so cool, and I just love his entire vibe. Something about this kid's vibe I just love, and Snoop picks up on it too, and I don't know. It's the same type of vibe that Snoop has. I don't know.
How'd you know I would like Tanner so much?
Because you liked him before.
I did. I don't even remember.
You did. You liked him a lot before in the Blinds.
I just liked him because he's so. I just like people that just lower your blood pressure. Like, I feel like Tanner's that friend, right? That like it'd be crazy stuff would be happening all around you. You'd be like, oh, it's gonna be all good. You all good. Like, and that's how he sings. That's how he approaches. Tate's got that rough, more like staccato or more broken up type voice.
Yes.
I said, did you hear Tanner do that run at the end? That was crazy.
Yes.
So it's like, did a little Chris Stapleton to say, "Oh, y'all, I can run," because I want to hear Tanner sing. I'm gonna get some country R&B out of Tanner. Number one. Number two, I think that this battle was more about vocal preference, especially for Reba. These were
had to be,
because it was truly a draw. Like, it was like, okay, do you like the more smooth rough or do you like the more rough, right? So Tate is more punchy with his delivery of the vocal line, while Tanner's more smooth. And I did not agree with Reba's choice. And but we'll talk about that later. What say you on this one?
So I got very nervous when I heard that they were doing Need a Favor because, as you said, Bias and Jackie Rohr's version lives rent free in my brain, still to this day. And I did not, I was like, come on, voice. Not only are you giving them this same song to do, but you're giving it to them in a battle where people just battled this and did an epic job. I just thought that that was unwise because anybody that's a real fan of the show is going to compare. And for me, there was not a great comparison because I loved the other version so much better. And this is why. It's not because I don't like Tanner's voice or Tate's voice. I really like both of their voices on this song. I just felt like they did not give it the energy that I would have liked for this song. This song is a desperate song. He's saying, I need a favor, and the only time I talk to God is when I need a favor. Like they said something like, there's a part of the bridge that says like throwing up a prayer, Hail Mary. Now we all know, those of us that like football and just saw last week or a couple weeks ago what happened with a Hail Mary. A Hail Mary is a last ditch effort. Like that's you're desperate. You want to make something happen and you're just doing the last ditch effort.
And in most cases, you ain't gonna get it.
In most cases, it's not going to work. Exactly. So I didn't feel like either one of them gave it the energy or the desperation or the angst that I was looking for. I actually wonder if Tate was singing this with a different artist, if he would have, because I feel like he has more of that holleration and more of that emotion in his voice, where Tanner is a more smooth yet gritty artist, but way, way, way more chill. So I do wonder that. I just kind of thought that it was a nice version where they were just kind of, it was like just two dudes singing the song.
Too nice.
It was a little too nice. There was not enough emotion in it for me, and not enough urgency, not enough passion. But yeah, it was fine.
You are biased for Bias and Jackie.
Absolutely. Absolutely,
because,
yes, I am.
Because I see what you're talking about. Because like when they did it, it was two artists giving their all, like leaving it all on the stage.
Yes.
As far as energy.
Yes.
And it's just heightened the performance.
Yes.
So I get it. Yeah. Still love this kid. I don't know what about Tanner. I just love it. I love that he's always smiling, like always chill. Yeah, I really do. But I thought, like with this one, I can see why Reba prefers more of a Tate voice. I think personally.
Yes, she does.
That's why I think. But I just had this feeling. I said they ain't gonna let Tanner go. Tanner's too special of a singer. He's too special of a country singer. And
I was surprised.
I was like, it's crazy because I didn't know who was gonna steal him. And I was like thinking, Stephanie, I was like, does Bublé have a country singer? I don't think he does. And then
I don't think so.
Sure enough, Bublé, huge pickup for Bublé because is going to have Tanner sing other stuff. Like, did you hear Tanner like matching Bublé in the black? He was like,
yeah,
he was like singing his song with him.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, see, watch. Gonna be a great pickup for Michael.
Yeah,
awesome. Okay, next we have Mary and Michael. Snoop Dogg. Snoop. Gwen said it tonight. Snoop has been picking songs that, in my opinion, need to be picked because they're just songs that are never really picked on this show. But this can prove to be problematic when you don't know the context of the song. And I felt there was a struggle with this performance with one of the artists not knowing, or one of the contestants / artists not knowing the context of the song. Let me tell you though, I'm gonna start with the good. Mary was singing her face off
She was.
on this. Did you hear how she came in with that low?
I did.
I said, she's got a killer voice.
Mm-hmm.
Killer voice. Like every time she came in, I settled down. Like it was like one of those. I was like, you better sing. You better
You
sing.
better sing.
And I said, this is the first time, because you know what? I thought Michael was a very strong contestant on the show. He's got a lot of personality. Camryn loves him. Good looking kid. I thought it was a little over the top. But you know, people eat it up. People eat it up. I thought Michael's voice got a little exposed tonight. I heard some tuning issues on the duet parts by him.
Okay.
But and I was listening really closely, and Stephanie, you heard it in your good ears, so I can't wait to hear what you had to say about this. Maybe it wasn't so much as tuning as just the polar opposite voices that the two of them had, that vibratos didn't match. And it was, maybe that's what I was getting, because I don't think Michael has pitch issues, because I never really heard, because when he sang by himself, it sounded glorious in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm not sure if the harmonies worked on this song because of the different tonal qualities of each of the contestants' voice.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'll go on to ventures to say, and this is just a personal opinion, I preferred Mary's styling on this song rather than Michael's.
Okay.
I felt she was singing in the cut. I felt like she was doing the best that she, like she was using all of her vocal strengths
Mm.
to show you her range and to show you what she can do.
Mm-hmm.
I think they sounded best when they were singing apart rather than they were singing together. That was a little rough for me. Stephanie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I don't think that there were pitch issues as much as that when they were singing together, their voices just had trouble blending together. Michael in particular has a very stylistic voice, and voices like that really, it's hard for them to work in a battle situation. It's hard for them to blend. And I believe, now, don't, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I know that there were a few pairings tonight that said that they had never sang harmony together before, or they had never sang a harmony part together or with somebody else before. And I can't remember if this is one of the instances, but I know that Michael does not have a lot of performance experience. So that could have been some of it as well, because it takes a minute to learn how to blend with someone if you have a kind of a regular voice, but to have a voice like his is twice as difficult.
You gotta listen to the other singer.
You do. What I do love, I did like their chemistry on stage together. I think they worked really well together. Mary, oh my gosh,
little crush.
It's just a little crush. Mary, girl, you got a rich voice, girl. Oh my goodness, so much beautiful texture in your throat, range for days, like a lot of character, a lot of maturity. And I was like, some of them choices, I was like, come on, choice. And it's so funny. You hear these songs, I've heard the song tons of times or whatever, but it takes competition shows like this for me to sometimes really appreciate the things that I casually overlook about some of these songs. The ending notes to these songs go forever. I only have eyes for you. Like, oh my gosh, like having to sing that live. Oh my God. It's like, you better have all of your breath capacity together in order to deliver it the way that it needs to be delivered. I was like, dang, like I never thought about it before. But I think that those long notes really allowed for Mary's voice to shine. I said that Michael's voice was kind of epic. He's got like a movie soundtrack voice. which was kind of stunning to hear because you don't hear a voice like his always, and you don't hear a voice coming out of somebody's mouth that kind of sounds like that. So I was just like, whoa, there were definitely portions of his vocal. I was just like,
Yeah.
wow, like that's
Gorgeous sound.
yes. His little moves, you could just tell that he just needs more reps up under him as far as performance goes. However, I will say, I can appreciate the attempt to perform, the attempt to not just stand there and kind of just be awkward, to like do something. I can appreciate his attempts at doing something on the stage to kind of give it a performance quality. Does it need some tweaking? Yeah. But again, that just has to do with filming yourself, watching yourself, and tweaking to make it look the way you want to look, and just being on a big stage. That's an awkward thing to do, to be on a big stage singing a love song when you have not performed a lot. So I'm going to choose to give him some grace for that.
You think some of the cheese stuff that he was doing was out of nervousness, possibly?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
He's bringing the cheese. I loved it.
I loved it. I was like,
Vegas crooner, you know?
But I was like, you know what? Let him get a little bit more like confidence on stage and as a person. Because even during the rehearsal, as he was talking to Snoop, and I was just kind of like, if this dude really gets some confidence on stage and within himself, he's going to be a star. He's going to be a bona fide star. So, yeah, this was an interesting pairing, an interesting song choice. Definitely worked more in Michael's favor as far as song goes, but I think that Mary did a beautiful job with it.
She stole it right from under him, because she the theme tonight of two women, and Mary's one of them, and we'll talk about the other one later, is they stuck to their guns as far as their stylings.
That's right. That's right.
And they were rewarded.
Yes, they were.
So, who wound up getting chosen?
Mary,
yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, our next performance is, we haven't seen them in a while, 323.
Yeah.
KDO, Lonesome
Yeah.
Loser. Interesting song choice, Reba. Reba's like, this group sang this at my birthday. And I was like, interesting song choice. Very strong opening on the harmonies. You know,
Come on.
323 is really impressing me with their vocals this round.
Mm-hmm.
KDO is just a country pro. I said, I hear
Mm-hmm.
Underwood all up in that throat. I said, I felt that 323 was KDO's backup more than singing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Very hard to do in an arrangement with a trio. I said, I need a little bit of additional harmony than the one that they kept repeating. It became very redundant on the "Have you heard about the Lonesome Loser?" Like, they kept repeating the same harmonies over and over.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think in the arrangement of that, you all should have changed. You could have inverted it. You could have just done a different chord to give it some variety. I felt like they were like singing it down our throat. Especially at the end, they kept repeating that same line, harmonies, and it didn't go anywhere. It just stayed. Yeah, it became a little redundant for me. But I think KDO is probably one of the strongest country singers on this season. She is really good. Really good. Stephanie?
So this is what I need. Number one, Reba, ma'am, you the queen, and we love you. Baby, this song was not it. This song was not it. You can't just be giving these artists these songs just because they sang at your birthday party. Like, this song was awful. And I think some of it was the redundancy of it. I was just like, oh my God, are you calling somebody a loser? Like, well, this is not the vibe I'm trying to have, especially walking into this week. I just don't want to have that vibe. So another thing, I need, I just don't need that vibe. I need joy.
Too soon.
I need joy.
Yeah.
I need people being nice to one another. That's what I need walking into this week, and hopefully exiting out of this week. That's where we will be. So I need I need any groups that decide to be on the show and move to the battles. I need y'all to listen to me. I need you to not defer to the single artist, because I feel like these single artists are snatching these battles from y'all because y'all are afraid to overdo you and give too much to the single artist. I need y'all to not do that. I felt like 323, all three of y'all are really strong singers, and we got to hear a little bit more from the younger gentleman, and I was like, yo, your voice is real nice.
Yeah.
What I really wanted to see is I wanted to see the young lady from 323 go against Katie. And I wanted the young lady from 323 to be like, nah, I got chops too, and to sing her down. That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah,
and that didn't really happen.
Featured, I was like, that's holleration in that throat.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough. It was like, it just wasn't enough holleration for me. And I knew she had it. I felt like 323's vocals, their blend together is great. It's wonderful. But as you said, I feel like they could have done some different things with their harmony parts, inverting, just changing them up a bit to make their portion a little bit more dynamic. Katie, every time she opened up her mouth, it was just magic. It was really magic. And she's got another voice that just cuts. Her voice cut no matter whether she was singing by herself or with the group.
Yeah.
So I was not surprised with the result. I was not surprised.
Theo wound up getting picked.
Yes, she did.
And staying with.
Yes, she did.
Ariba,
yes.
Come on, sis. That song.
I was like, really? I literally wrote, I hate this song.
I was like, some obscure group that you had your 50th. Okay.
But congratulations to both KDO and 323 for y'all did your thing. Y'all did your thing with what you were given. So congratulations to both.
Okay, so our final performance of the night, and whoa, was it a big one. This was Camryn and Cassidy and Camryn.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, yeah, you know what Camryn gonna do with this song. You knew it. You know they were going they were gonna bring it and ornament the heck out of it. And I also find it very interesting to hear what Cassidy was going to do with this song. I was intrigued.
Yeah.
I knew intrigued. What he was going to do, but intrigued as to what Cassidy was going to do. I said, this song has crazy modulation in it. And I said, oh, they gave that modulation, Cassidy. Let me see what you can do, young lady. I said, her voice is so beautiful.
It is.
It's so beautiful. I love something that that Camryn did when they started the song. I loved how delicate Camryn was with the song. Very delicate, and started it. And I said, Camryn, watch out for those runs. They got a little much for me. And that's just personal. Can't wait to hear what Stephanie has to say about this. I said, and watch the changing of a melody. This song is so iconic. You don't want to have your runs change a melody.
Mm-hmm.
Good taste. And to me, it kind of did not fit. It was kind of like, let me show everyone how I could really run.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounded a little discombobulated when the changing of the notes happened. love how how for Cassidy just sang it straight. She was like,
Yeah.
I don't do runs. My voice doesn't do runs. And she just was like, you know what? I mean, I'm not speaking for her, but she, in my mind, she was like, you know what? I'm just going to sing it the way I sing,
Right.
the way I sing. And I thought that hit the spot. I said, there's a part in the song that requires runs, like towards the back half of the song. I want
Yeah.
front. That's why I struggled a little bit with Camryn's performance because I wanted the front half to be sung straight
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a Mariah purist. Uh, I said incredible. You know when Camryn really shined on this song during the bridge. I thought
and,
we, I thought when we went to the bridge, Camryn shined. That's
and I
exactly.
was waiting for that because Bublé alluded to the fact, like, if you open up your eyes and if you really connect with that bridge, you're gonna make people weep. So I was waiting for that bridge as well. Mm-hmm.
I I said this was an amazing pairing. You couldn't have gotten two different voices, but when two voices come together and it just sounds amazing. I,
Right.
so they actually worked with the harmonies.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Um, Cassidy is just one of those voices that those incredible 80s, 90s ballad female rocker singer, like a Kim Carnes, like that's what I hear in her voice. It's throwback.
Yeah, it really is.
Throwback to some of the best rock singing, and I
Yes.
feel like she has that voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stephanie,
So I was like, Buble, oh my God. Like, you
hero,
knew he was the last one. His group was the last one. And I could hear the music in the background. I'm like, what is this? I know this. What's this? And
mhm.
then he said hero. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. So I was like, all right. Like you said, I already know what Cameron's going to do. I said, but Cassidy, what's she going to do? I said, how's she going to handle this song with her throat? Like, I know her, like, she's got a great voice, but this is not a song that she would pick. So let me start with her, the Stevie Nicks choice of it all. Like, I just heard Stevie Nicks all up in her throat, just like you said, like that 80s rock sound, the grit holleration. She did make a couple choices here and there. Like her opening line was very different than the melody of the song, but I was like, but I like that for you,
Yeah,
and I like that for your voice. So I apprecited that. I love when she sang her harmony parts. I believe at some point she sang on top of Camryn, and I was like, oh, I really really like their blend together. And just like you said, I love that Cassidy said, I'm going to just stay in my lane. I'm going to make a choice here and there, but I'm going to just sing this song in my lane with my throat because that's already different. As Gwen said in her comments, she's never heard somebody with her voice type sing this song. So her singing the song pretty much as is was enough because that was different enough. Camryn. We knew what Camryn was going to do and he did it. My issue is always, well, if they do sing it regular and straight, is it going to sound karaoke?
yeah,
But if they do put a couple more ornamentations on it, is it going to sound too much? I felt like there were a couple times, there were like two choices that I would take away. Two choices be like, that was a little much. That was a little much.
yeah.
But Camryn is gifted.
So good.
Camryn should be on Broadway today. Like today. They have got like the theatrics in the throat. They've got the high tenor of it all. They've got the power, like everything. And not saying that they should just be on Broadway. Like that's the only lane that they could be in. But Camryn is just so doggone talented. Their vocal reminds me of Tevin Campbell. And I think more because of the high timbre of it and that bridge. Because, like I said, I was waiting for the bridge based on what Michael was saying. And Camryn just executed it so gorgeously. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
What'd you think of Cassidy's key change modulation?
I was waiting for that too, because I'm like, Mommy, what you gonna do with that? Because she has she's got range.
Yeah.
I didn't know if she had that much range, and she really did. And what was cool was that she made those upper parts crunchy. I was like, how are you making this crunchy? And I like it.
Yeah.
I like the crunch up there that she was able to do that. So, and their voices, again, their voices together was an oddly cool blend. I was like, how did maybe Bublé is a genius, because I would have never thought that could be, but it was, and I loved it. So congratulations to both.
So, who did Bublé keep?
He kept Camryn.
Mm-hmm. And who got stolen? And who stole Cassidy? Because you knew that when I'm singing like that.
Well, listen, I knew Reba was going to keep her. Number one, because before the performances and before their segment even started, Reba said that she had a steal and she was ready to use it. So I was like, all right, well, here we go. This is the last performance.
Yep.
And then when Reba said that her voice sounded like a hug, I was like, oh, well, if Bublé keeps Camryn, then Reba is going to take Cassidy. And that is exactly what happened.
Yeah. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Huge pickup for Reba.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes.
Gigantic.
I can't think of another big word. Ginormous.
So, okay. So that's how we wrapped up. You know, a little anticlimactic for us, but Stephanie and I are always looking for the world when it comes to the battles, and you're not always going to get it. But the battles, Stephanie, there have been some incredible ones.
Yes, there have been
over this season.
Mm-hmm.
So pitchings, we all bigger and brighter things on knockouts, and we have our mega mentors.
Yes, we do.
That and the famous Sting.
Yes.
Of the police.
Yes.
A cultural phenomenon around the world singer.
Yes.
We had Miss Jennifer Hudson.
Yes.
Herself coming back to voice.
Yes.
For her expertise.
Yes.
It's gonna be a true battle.
Mm-hmm.
So, Stephanie, tell the pitching.
All right, so don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Pitchy Podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you can be the first to know when we drop a new episode. Also, check us out on YouTube. Search for The Pitchy Podcast and hit the subscribe button so you know when we drop a new video. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Pitchy Podcast for new episode alerts, episode clips, and so much more. And last, we are on Patreon. Do you want to hear what we really think after these episodes? We record right after the episode, and that content is just for our Patreons, along with our thoughts about the Friday leaks and so much more. I even did a little recording of me watching one of the episodes one of the performances from Tonight Live, so you can check that out. So for more information, please check out our Patreon highlight on our IG page, or you can check out the link in the Linktree link in our bio, and always in the show notes as well.
All right. So because tomorrow is election night, we will not have a night 2. So we will see for 2 rounds of knockouts next week.
Yes.
Bye, everybody. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.